Hey guys, welcome to this episode of Pondering the Process, where we embark on a journey of discovery with some of the most creative minds in the community and explore the making of their latest projects. Today we are speaking with Ghanaian artist Denis on his journey into using recyclable and sustainable parts as his main medium in his art, what took him there, and also why he does it. We would also be talking about his piece titled Journey. Stay tuned for a life-altering discussion on how one man is on a quest to save the environment using his art and forms of expression. So, hi Denis, thank you for taking your time to join me to talk about your piece titled Journey. I'm really happy that you were able to join us. Like I've told you before, we're all about showcasing creativity, talking about the process behind the piece. So I appreciate you taking your time to join us.
You're welcome, sir.
Oh, thank you. So now we can start the discussion. So we'll start with the medium itself. How did you come up with the idea of using discarded bicycle tires as your medium?
Okay, thank you for the question. So, as an upcoming artist, I had always wanted to explore, and over the years, it has always been the conventional means. So, I think I discovered my medium when I was about to complete the university. I had to do my final project. So, I realized that in my community, there were a whole lot of rampant outbreaks of malaria. So, in my findings, I found out that they were caused by old bicycle tires, these gutters, which were causing the breeding grounds of mosquitoes. So I thought it was that, okay, why don't I reuse these discarded bicycle tires to make my artwork? Because I had always wanted to explore in the arts. That's always been the conventional means. So when I discovered that, okay, I could, use this discarded bicycle tires for my works, I went ahead, not aesthetically, but also to educate the general public about how they have to keep their environment clean, because these discarded materials add up to this environmental pollution. So that is how I came about my medium of work.
I see. That's so interesting. So it was more like you decided to find out what the issue was and come up with a solution almost immediately and see how you could help the environment.
Yes, please.
Yes, that's amazing. Thank you for helping the environment. We need more people like you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So you mentioned how you started using it to spread awareness as well. So in this whole quest of spreading awareness, have you been able to actually influence other artists around you? Like, have they started using discarded materials too as a result of seeing you do it and also being able to express the same levels that you were expressing with more conventional material?
Yeah, I would say yes. There are lots of artists who are also exploring their art when it comes to discarded materials, that is the unconventional means of art. Recently, I heard of an exhibition. I myself didn't attend it. The artists over there, they were more of showing discarded materials as their means, and it was lovely. And during my final year project, not only me went into the unconventional medium, but there were my friends who also were into this unconventional means of art. So I think it has influenced a whole lot of artists, and they are influencing anyone around them about the measures and how they can control their environment, or they can reduce the rate at which they pollute the environment with these discarded materials.
Okay, that's great. So you guys are basically starting a movement. That's amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so the subject of your work, it's a formally dressed man. Was there a reason you chose this particular subject? or is there a story you like to share with this particular character?
Okay, so we all know that ties form very important part when it comes to manufacturing of vehicles, aeroplanes, bicycles. And without these ties, these machineries can't work, or they can't move from one place to another. And they make our movement from one place to another very smooth. And most of the times, these ties encounter a lot when they are on the roads. Same happens to we as an individual. Once you are brought on this earth, you have a destiny that you have to accomplish, and this doesn't come easy. Sometimes you go through, the rough roads. Sometimes not every day comes in a joyful moment, or sometimes you become sad, sometimes you become happy. And these subjects influenced me when it comes to manipulating these bicycle ties. I trace it back as helpful.
Okay. So back to why you started doing this, right? You talked about helping the environment, right? So are you somebody who feels like every one of these pieces you do with this medium should send a societal message?
In the first place, yes, because my aim of art seeks to tell how we can reuse or repurpose these discarded materials. And I believe my clients are in support with me with the choice of my medium I'm using, because it seeks to reduce the environmental pollution. And in my research, I found out that these discarded bicycle ties, it takes a long time to decay. So me using it as a medium of art, I think they are in love with that, and they are very impressed with that.
So that's interesting too, because you've mentioned before that you also do other kinds of art, right? That you used to do the conventional means. Yeah, but now you.
Yeah, sure.
So now, do you feel like you do this more than the conventional means?
Yeah, as I said earlier, I wanted to explore. So me exploring the arts doesn't mean I've left or I've stopped doing those conventional means. I'm still into that. I still do the drawing and painting as well. I'm not diverting, or I'm not stopping the conventional means completely. Any others that comes, or how I want to render my subject matter, depends on the kind of medium that I have to use.
I see. You're flexible like that. It just really depends on what suits the situation.
Yeah, yes, please.
Okay. So then, were there any specific techniques or tools that you used to manipulate the tires to create the desired texture and details in this piece?
Oh, okay. Let me take you through how I come about my finished work as a whole. Okay, so first off, I gather the materials, bring them to my studio, clean it, then dry it. Then after I've dried it, then I start to cut them into my desired shapes. Okay, so after I've done with the cutting, I sort them out with the tones that I desired, or the tones my subject is giving me, because these bicycle ties, they have the inner parts which gives different colors. So I sort those colors out, then I start to draw or trace my figure or my portrait. Then after that, I transfer the cutout pieces of the bicycle ties onto the canvas. So it's a whole lot. It's a whole lot. And with this style of movements, mine is music. I'm into music because they have the same piece of material. That is only the bicycle ties that I render them into shapes for me to achieve the desired figure that I want. There are tools that I use when it comes to the manipulation of this material. So I use a cutter, I use rulers, let's say cutter rulers. And I think those are the only tools that I use over here. And with the materials, I use PVA glue. Yeah.
Okay. And then you mentioned how different parts of the tire has different appearances. Does that also affect the color, or did you paint on it?
No, I don't paint on it. The colors that the tires are giving me, that is the only
I see.
tone that I'm using. I don't apply paint. Yeah.
Interesting. So I even thought you painted the tires. Wow, that's
No,
interesting.
I don't paint it. It's the inner part of the tires gives colors. Some are brown, some are pink, some are light pink, some are yellow ochres. They give different types of colors and tones. Yeah. So that is how I achieve my tones when it comes to the portraits.
Okay. And how long exactly have you been doing the tire portraits?
Yeah, I think close to 2 years now.
Well, you're already a professional,
Thank you, sir.
because yeah, you're able to know how to get the colors without even painting on it. That is pretty good. I'm pretty sure if
Yeah.
I showed this to everyone, if I tell them it's made by tires, they could see it, but they probably think you painted. So yeah,
Nah,
good job.
thank you, sir.
Yeah. So how do you want this to incorporate into your future artistic practice? Are you going to maybe start exploring things like mixed media with recyclable material, or the bicycle tires, maybe mixing that with like oil paints and other kind of media?
Oh, okay. So you see, once you are an artist, every day comes with a new idea. So I believe that definitely someday maybe I will add some certain mediums to the dyes, or maybe solely dye work.
I see. Yeah, we're looking forward to your growth. That's interesting.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah. So, what do you hope a viewer should take away from this particular piece when they look at it?
Okay, so first off, I'm educating the general public about how to repurpose or reuse any discarded materials, how to make the environment clean, because these discarded materials come up to this environmental pollution and stuff. So always I want to tell the general public that not only them discarding these materials away, but then they can use it, they can repurpose it to a different thing altogether. Educating them, but also financially they can get something from it, and to use these discarded materials to make something meaningful, something aesthetic. You can make something out from it.
Interesting. Yeah, so basically, let's stop the waste culture that we have.
Yeah.
Like that. Okay, so what do you find most challenging about working with the bicycle tires?
Okay, so the most challenging aspect when it comes to working with these bicycle tires is even sometimes finding the materials. It's so bearable. How it looks like, you have to get them clean before you put them on the canvas. Sometimes even these cutters that I used for cutting, it's really hard for me to get the desired shape that I want. So I'm looking forward in getting some new equipment and new cutting tools for my works. And also, I believe that when these problems are solved, these challenges are going to loosen. Yeah.
Okay, so Dennis, thank you. That's all the questions I have regarding the piece journey.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Do you have anything you would like to share with the audience before we move on to the next question?
Okay, so what I will tell my fellow artists or the general public is, let's keep our environment clean. Let's maintain our environment. Anything we see it to be waste, let's not throw them away, but can repurpose them and use them to make something new to the environment, which the environment is going to benefit from. So I encourage any artist coming up that everything that we are doing, you should have that love, that passion for it. You always have that edge to explore, to move forward in that. Yeah.
Thank you for that message. Thank you so much. I'm sure a lot of people are going to appreciate that.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so the next thing I wanted to talk to you about was the Udocreatives app. So basically, it's a creative community hub, and our aim is that it becomes a tool down the line where people can just use to show up their work, get inspired, grow as a creative with the support of other creatives, right? Like everybody lifting up each other in this community.
Oh, okay.
So to achieve that, obviously, we have a bunch of features that I would like to share with you. So whenever you have the chance to actually try out the app, you know exactly what is going on. We think the app is pretty self-explanatory, right? But I want to tell you so you'll be at least excited to go open it. So we'll start with the spotlight feature. So we have this spotlight feature where basically it has 3 different pages on it. It has the posts, the discussions, and the glances. So posts is just a reel of different works from different people, right? You can just keep scrolling as much as you want, and it's very randomized. So if you have more followers, it doesn't mean that you're going to show up more. No, right? It's very randomized. So we really want that post section to be used for getting inspiration. So for example, let's say you always paint with a certain medium. You could just be scrolling there, you see something else that inspires you, and you're like, okay, I want to try this out, right?
Okay.
So your mind is not locked into one certain area of art. Like it's not algorithm based where if you like a certain type of art, we're only going to show you that. No, we want you to explore as much as you want as a creative, right? Okay. And then the discussion section is where people can just discuss about different topics, and you can also discuss different posts. So if you go on a post, you open it, right? You look at the picture, you can like it, bookmark. You can also go discuss it, and you can even ask the person who made the work, how did you achieve this? So it's very, very interactive in that sense.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And then we have the glances feature, which is basically just a 7-day story. So you post whatever progress you want whenever you want, but it stays on there for 7 days. And the reason we have it on there for 7 days is because we feel like a lot of other social media platforms cause people to have to post all the time because they just want you back there. But we don't believe that we should pressure creatives to post because you want to spend your time creating and not having to worry about, are people going to see my post, So, so even if you don't want to touch your social media in 7 days, you don't have to. Like, there's no pressure to post. So another thing we do have as well is called the journeys feature. So it's a special type of glance in the sense where, let's take this piece you have, right? It's called journey, which is kind of funny because I've explained journeys feature. But let's take this piece and let's assume that you haven't even started it, but you already have what you think about it in your mind. So you could just go on the app and start a journey, name it journey. And then the first thing on there could be a picture of you with the tires that you collected. The next thing could be a picture of you preparing the tires, cutting up the pieces and all of that. Or it could even be a video. The next thing could be you laying out the canvas and everything, getting your materials together, right? So even before you started creating, you're already sharing what you've been doing with the audience. Because everybody else sees the final work. What we're trying to do is that we're also trying to show what goes behind the final work. We want to show the full process.
Sure.
So you can start a journey and basically just start showing the process of your work from start to finish. So when you finish, you just go to complete journey, you post your final picture, and then anybody who sees the work can basically go through the entire journey with you. They say, okay, you did this. Oh, you did this. And then we feel like it's going to give a lot more appreciation to creativity because now people can monitor what's going on, right?
Yeah.
For example, let's say you want to charge a certain price for your art and people say, why are you charging this much? You can show them, okay, this is what went into it.
Sure.
I feel like that would be easier than having to explain why. You just show them this is what went into it and they have it right there. They'll be more willing to understand where you're coming from.
Sure.
Right, so we think it has a lot of benefits. So that's one reason why it's in our app. We're really proud of that feature. And the other thing about it is, while the journeys are being posted, even before you posted your final work, your journey will appear in your glances tab. So if people go to your profile and they check your glances, they will be able to see the journey as it's going, which is pretty cool. So they'll be able to see at least like what is going on in your journey. That's one feature we're pretty proud of. We have other features too, like the events feature where people can post about different creative events that are going on around them. We also have private messaging, so you can message somebody to ask them questions directly. And if you don't ask someone questions directly, you can start a whole discussion and you can ask the entire community. And obviously, if someone is messaging you and you're not happy with it, you can block them. We put that in there. So there's a lot of things going on the app. We're even coming out with a new tutorial feature. So we're just making a safe space for creatives, where we're trying to make creativity accessible to everyone. So one of the aims is that even somebody who has never been creative in their life can just pick up the app and immediately hit the ground running. And people who have already been creative for a long time can use it to connect with other creatives. We have a collaboration feature for that. Get inspired by other people. Also go to the discussion section, tell people, okay, this is how I think you could do things better. This is how I did it when I was coming up. You understand? So things like that. So it's very, very collaborative, because we know that the journey of creativity, especially when you first start, is very lonely. So we're trying to remove that barrier of loneliness and have people join the community.
Sure.
So based on that, do you have anything to say?
I think it's a nice initiative that you guys are putting up for artists that are coming up. And I'm very, very honored to be part of Udocreatives App.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And is there any feature you think stood out for you, or is there any feature you think we should add? Just any suggestions?
Is there any feature that give the general public a price tag of maybe your artwork?
Oh, so right now we don't really do any transactions on the app, but we also allow you to put the price in the description, right? So every time you put the post up, in the description you can put the price. We're very okay with that. You can also put the price in your title, right? Like, we won't stop you from doing that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we just do not buy or sell on the community, but you can put a price tag in the description title if you want. We allow that 100%.
Oh, okay. I believe maybe a feature talks about the biography of the artist.
I see. Yeah, so right now we don't even have a biography tab because we want sign up to be quick and easy. But yeah, okay, we can probably add that too. Thank you for that suggestion. We can add that for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, Dennis, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us. I really enjoyed my time. I hope you did enjoy yours too.
Yeah.
And again, thank you for what you're doing for the environment.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you for using your art to spread awareness on sustainability and the environment. We appreciate it, and we're looking forward to your growth.
Thank you, sir.
So thank you. Have a great rest of the day.
Okay, sir. Same to you.
All right. Thank you, Dennis. See you.